You're born somewhere in medieval Europe, and congratulations, your future is already decided for you. Lower social class? Check. Prospects? Slim to none. You spend your early years dodging the plague and dreaming of not dying before your 10th birthday. You're basically a medieval toddler, which means your days are filled with avoiding dysentery and finding scraps of food. Childhood is fleeting, mostly because survival is a full-time job. You see blacksmiths around, strong, respected, making essential items for their communities. A glint of hope sparks in your mud-caked heart because apprenticeships offer upward mobility to those from lower social classes. Maybe there's a way out of this peasant life. 7 years old? Time to kiss your fleeting youth goodbye. Now, fast forward to your delightful apprenticeship, where you trade your freedom for the privilege of learning a trade. At the ripe old age of 7, you're sold off to the local blacksmith. Apprenticeships last 7 to 14 years, so get comfy. Your master is now your warden, mentor, and chief tormentor. Living in his shop, you share cramped, unsanitary conditions with other unfortunates. Your day starts before sunrise with a refreshing symphony of hammering and the aroma of burning coal. Forget gentle awakenings. You're jolted awake to prepare the forge, haul materials, and basically be the medieval equivalent of a coffee machine. Menial tasks, they call them. The tools of the trade become extensions of your body, heavy, unforgiving extensions. The forge itself is a raging inferno, and burns become your new normal. You try to wear protective gear like gloves, safety glasses, and steel-toed boots. But let's be honest, it's like trying to stop a tidal wave with a napkin. Mistakes are met with creative punishments, physical beatings with sticks or straps, imprisonment in irons for runaway attempts, and degrading menial tasks. You suck it up and keep hammering. Starting as young as 7, your days are a masterclass in unpaid labor and minimal rights. You're not just learning a trade, you're indentured, meaning your master owns your time, labor, and possibly your soul for the next 7 to 14 years. Mornings begin before sunrise, and you're thrust into tasks that make Cinderella look like she had it easy. Forget forging. You're hauling coal, cleaning the forge, and running errands. The master's authority is absolute, often reinforced with absurd and humiliating initiation tasks designed to test your dedication and establish your place in the pecking order. Think collecting firewood naked is a joke? Think again. As you progress, you graduate to the slightly less awful tasks of heating and shaping metal, but don't expect a pat on the back. Mistakes are met with harsh punishments, ranging from physical beatings to psychological torment. You learn to use essential tools like anvils, forges, and hammers, but each swing is a reminder of the high injury risks due to inexperience and hazardous conditions. Burns, cuts, and crush injuries become your constant companions. The lack of oversight allows harsh conditions and physical punishment, while economic pressures force families to accept exploitative apprenticeships, perpetuating poverty. Despite the hardships, you persist, driven by the hope of one day becoming a master blacksmith. You dream of escaping the drudgery and earning respect, but for now, you're just another cog in the medieval machine, enduring long hours and minimal rights, all while trying to avoid becoming a cautionary tale. So, you've survived delights of your blacksmith apprenticeship? Congratulations! You're now entering the next level of the medieval career ladder, journeyman. Think of it as graduating from unpaid intern to poorly paid freelancer. You're free, but also broke and overworked. As a journeyman, you travel to work for various masters, refining your skills and learning diverse blacksmithing techniques. It sounds glamorous, but mostly it means you're constantly adapting to new workshops, new bosses, and new levels of dysfunction. You face physically demanding labor in hot, hazardous environments, which leads to fatigue and injuries. The gig economy has nothing on this. One day you are working in blacksmith shops, factories producing tools and machinery, and artisan studios for artistic metalwork. Economic challenges are your new best friends. You're competing with other journeymen for contracts, and sabotage is a common occurrence. And those guild regulations? A bureaucratic labyrinth designed to keep you from ever becoming a master. You might find yourself tempted to supplement your income with some extracurricular activities. Blacksmith journeymen have historically been involved in various activities, including criminal enterprises, often to supplement their income, forging illegal weapons outside guild regulations or government oversight. But beware, journeymen who forged counterfeit coins or faulty weapons often faced severe punishments, including death. Despite it all, you persevere, honing your skills, mastering your craft, and dreaming of the day you'll finally have your own shop. You endure the long hours, the financial instability, and the constant threat of injury, knowing that your blood, sweat, and tears are shaping the world, one hammer blow at a time. So, you've finally clawed your way to official blacksmith status? Congratulations! You're now the medieval equivalent of a small business owner, the town's most undervalued and overworked guy. Welcome to a world of constant financial anxiety, where your skills are in demand, but your profits are always just out of reach. As a master blacksmith, you face the delightful challenge of balancing craftsmanship with commerce. You have to skillfully manipulate iron, adjusting its carbon content to produce high-quality tools, weapons, and household items. The Industrial Revolution is looming, threatening to make your handcrafted goods obsolete. You must adapt by adopting adopting new technologies and diversifying your products to remain relevant in a changing economy. But don't think your guild is here to help. Guild rules and taxes keep you in constant debt. You're essentially a medieval serf, except instead of owing fealty to a lord, you owe it to a bunch of bureaucrats in fancy robes. You might find yourself tempted to engage in some extracurricular activities. Some blacksmiths were involved in counterfeiting, which could be risky if you were caught. And let's not forget the health problems. Years of inhaling toxic fumes and wrestling with hot metal have left you with a delightful array of ailments, including arthritis, blindness, and lung disease. Despite all these challenges, you persevere, driven by a mix of stubbornness, pride, and the occasional flicker of artistic passion. You shape the world with your hands, forging tools, weapons, and the occasional piece of art. But let's be honest, you're likely to be forgotten by history, just another nameless face in the long march of progress. Still, take pride in knowing that while kings and queens are remembered for their conquests, it was blacksmiths like you who built the world they ruled. So, the bloom is off the rose, and you're now in your final years as a blacksmith. Retirement? What's that? You're now facing the medieval equivalent of a rusty 401k and a body that's falling apart faster than a poorly made sword. The good news is that all those years of hard labor have prepared you for this moment. The bad news? There is no good news. As you approach the end of your career, you are likely to be plagued by health issues. Blacksmiths often suffered from lung diseases due to prolonged exposure to harmful materials. Your joints ache with chronic pain from years of hammering. You might find yourself facing the decline of your trade. The Industrial Revolution is in full swing, and those mass-produced metal goods are looking awfully appealing to the townsfolk. So much for craftsmanship. You might consider passing down your knowledge, but who wants to be a blacksmith when they could work in a factory for slightly better pay and fewer lung problems? Apprenticeships are dwindling. Even in death, your troubles aren't over. Debts don't disappear, and your family will have to figure out how to settle them. Creditors will come knocking, and your meager estate might not cover it. Despite it all, you cling to the forge, hammering out what you can until your body finally gives out. You might be buried with your tools, a final testament to your life's work. But let's be real, you'll likely be forgot, another casualty of progress. Your legacy? A few tools, some sturdy hinges, and the faint memory of a time when things were made by hand, with skill, sweat, and a whole lot of suffering. Still, you were a blacksmith, and you shaped the world, even if the world won't remember your name.